Jacko sponsors the Vanarama National League on BT Sport.
Hello everybody, welcome to our final Vanarama National League highlights programme of the season here on BT Sport.
Although Cheltenham had already wrapped up the title, there was still plenty to play for at both ends of the table. Over the next half an hour, we'll bring you the best of the action and reaction, and we'll mark your card for the promotion playoffs, all of which will be live on BT Sport.
We were here at Cressing Road, where Braintree Town needed just a point to put their place in the playoffs. But for Altrincham, only a win would give them any hope of avoiding the drop. Your commentary team, Adam Virgo and Adam Somerton.
Akinola unable to turn on the edge of the area, but he's won it back again here, and it's worked out for them. It's the opener. It's Michael Cheek, Braintree's top scorer, who delivers the goods, and what is quite possibly this club's biggest ever day. They have the lead. The game his side have to win. Now then, an injection of pace here from Brundle. Oh, it's a great crossover, and there's the second. And of course, it's that man Cheek again. His second of the game, his 15th league goal of the season, and they really look now as though they're cruising into the playoffs, Braintree Town. They haven't let it bounce, that's dangerous with Cheek around, and Akinola is there too for Braintree, and he's got Cheek on a hat-trick calling for it, and he's pulled it back brilliantly. It's a sensational goal. It's been scored by Mitch Brundle, but Akinola was the man who did all the hard work. They are going into the playoffs, Braintree Town, and they are doing it in style.
Well, it is really now game, set and match for Braintree Town.
Well, Danny Cowley's achieved what he said would be a miracle. Braintree Town can keep on dreaming. The Iron will play in the National League playoffs for the first time, way beyond pre-season expectations. It was always about staying up for Altrincham, but they've not been able to manage it. It is finished. Braintree Town 3, Altrincham 0.
It's just been a team effort. All the boys are cogs in the wheel. No one's bigger than anyone else. They all just work very, very hard for each other. And it's always nice, isn't it, when you see people that work hard get the success they deserve, and that's why I feel so proud tonight.
We've gone with an attacking line-up. We've put all the options that we've got that could win us the game. We've started the match. I cannot tell you how disappointed I am. We're a shadow of what we could have been today, and that's the disappointment for me. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning with so much regrets about what we've done today.
Well, with commiserations to Altrincham for their relegation, what a story Braintree Town is, Chris Hargreaves.
It's incredible, and they deserve it. They're there on merit. We have been so pleased to see what we've seen today. It's been magnificent. The atmosphere, the intensity of their play. The manager deserves a lot of credit, and to be honest, they're going to be a force in the playoffs.
I tell you what, it's remarkable that Danny Cowley has been able to achieve so much in such a short space of time. Clearly, he had 3 promotions previously with Concord Rangers before that, but fantastic job he's done here.
Amazing job, a real amazing job, and it's been a pleasure for me to be here today, to witness Braintree and how they play and their style. And
well, go on,
just
people watching, how do they play, Chris? How would you
well,
say
they play with a freshness. They play without fear, but they're on the front foot. They want to attack. I was really impressed by the front 3 players, the 2 wide players. Cheek, who got 2 of the goals, and they've got this mentality to defend as a team. Phillips, a good leader. Matt Fry, someone I know. So they've got a good spine, and very, very, very impressive team.
Chris Powell, lovely to have you with us today. Chris Hargreaves, a little more work for you to do. You can help me look ahead to the playoffs. Let's catch up, though, with the rest of Saturday's games. Here's Natalie Quirk.
So victory for Braintree rendered Tranmere's efforts against Grimsby immaterial. Gary Brabbing's boys had gone into the game at Prenton Park knowing nothing less than a victory would do if they were to have any chance of making the top 5. The visitors knew that their playoff place was already assured, and manager Paul Hurst made 8 changes ahead of their semi-final. One of those introduced goalkeeper Andy Warrington, who was tested by Tranmere's James Norwood early on. The home side's faint hopes of extending their season into the playoffs were given a boost after 24 minutes. Jay Harris's cross turned towards his own goal by Sean Pearson. Stephen Jennings was on hand to get his name on the score sheet for the first time since October. It was Tranmere who continued to impose themselves after the interval as they tried to double their advantage. Adam Meckie had 2 bites at the cherry, Warrington denying him. 39-year-old Warrington is also the goalkeeping coach at Grimsby, who was given another chance to showcase his skills as Norwood burst clear. Tranmere's top scorer unable to add to his tally. Another loss for Grimsby, who now host Braintree on Thursday. Tranmere face another season in the National League.
I think we've got a good group of players here that have got stronger and stronger as the season's gone on. Certainly after Christmas we sustained the run, which, you know, put us in a great position, and you know, we've had a couple of little slip-ups which we're disappointed in, but I think, you know, all in all, you know, we've just missed out. 78 points. You know, it's harsh, but you know, I think we're stronger for it next season.
You know, I've said before, I'm proud to be manager of a football club with that history, but when it comes to the playoff games and crossing that white line, it doesn't count for anything. So, you know, what we've got to do is be at its best and look to get a victory to take to the second leg.
So Grimsby will face Braintree in the playoffs. Forest Green were 1-0 winners at Dover Athletic, and those sides will meet again in their semi-final, with the first leg back at Crabble on Wednesday. Here's the Dover manager, Chris Kinnear.
Well, it would be a difficult game. I mean, because they are a good side. We knew probably at half-time, the way the result went, that we'd end up playing them anyway. So there's not a problem with that. We're quite prepared for that. We're prepared to take them on and do as well as we can. And I'm sure the players will.
Eastleigh began the day as rank outsiders for the final playoff place, needing a victory themselves against Woking to stand any chance of an unlikely top 5 finish. Defeat at home to Tranmere last week had all but extinguished their hopes. But they almost enjoyed the perfect start at the Kingfield Stadium. Matt Tubbs nodding home, but doing so from an offside position. And the away team must have felt the writing was on the wall as Woking drew first blood. Chris Arthur's cross causing panic in the Eastleigh area. Kieran Murtagh was the man to bundle the ball in. It's been a lacklustre second half of the season for Gary Hill's side, but they came into this fixture with 2 wins in their last 3, and they doubled their lead before half-time. The initial danger wasn't averted by Eastleigh, and John Goddard slotted home his 17th goal of the campaign. Plenty of clubs will surely have their eyes on him this summer. The visitors' form has deserted them at just the wrong time, but they did find a route back into this game. Josh Payne's shot deflected off Tubbs and past the Woking keeper Jake Cole. Tubbs credited with the goal. Not enough though for Eastleigh. 3 wins from their last 3 would have secured a playoff place, but after 2 defeats and a draw, their season ends here.
It's hard to take, of course. We've had an eventful season, to say the least, at Eastleigh Football Club. But we've fallen short at the end, and it's disappointing, but we'll learn from it and we'll get stronger as a football club.
A day of celebration at Whaddon Road. A champions parade for Cheltenham Town. Promotion back to the Football League was confirmed a fortnight ago. Visitors Lincoln were looking to spoil the party in what was manager Chris Moyes' final game in charge. It took 39 minutes for the hosts to break through. Supporters Player of the Year Danny Wright on the spot to register his 25th of the campaign. As the heavens opened in Gloucestershire, the Cheltenham goal was breached. The long throw flicked on for Luke Waterfall to equalise. A moment for the departing Moyes to savour. But the table-toppers' superiority told after the interval. Midfielder Kyle Storer hadn't scored since August. This flowing move finished off in some style by Storer to put the home side back in front. And it wouldn't be a Cheltenham victory if Dan Holman didn't get in on the act. Holman calmly finishing to register his 30th goal of the season, a goal that brought him level with Grimsby's Porrick Hammond, the two sharing the honour of top scorer in the National League. Champions Cheltenham break the 100-point barrier with their manager left to reflect on a job very well done.
It's a great achievement because we was all singing Forest Green's praises when they got 9 wins at the start of the season, and that's no mean feat either. But at the business end, when it really mattered, we were there, and the boys stood up to be counted. The whole club stood up to be counted, and listen, that's why I stayed out there till dark, because I just didn't want to disappoint anyone or let anybody down that wanted a photo or an autograph or something. So I was out there, and still surprised actually I got my money in my pocket and still got my medal on me.
No last day drama at Holker Street for Barrow, safe from relegation after promotion last season. That was a good thing. For Wrexham, unable to make the playoffs, that was, well, not such a good thing. Captain Connor Jennings has done his bit for Wrexham this year. 14 goals this season for the club's top scorer, but he surely should have made it 15. It's been a terrific campaign for Barrow since Paul Cox took the helm, and an even better one for striker Andy Cook. Barrow's top scorer too strong for the visitors, powering past Reece Taylor to break the deadlock 2 minutes before half-time. And 2 minutes after the break, it was a brace for Barrow's main man. 24 goals for Cook, 47 in his last 2 seasons. More disappointment then for Wrexham, but Barrow secure a top half finish after just 1 defeat in their last 14 matches. To conclude a difficult first season in the National League, Boreham would travel to Parkview Road, knowing 3 points against relegated Welling would keep them clear of the bottom 4. A helping hand never goes amiss, and Welling provided one with half an hour gone. This header back from defender Kevin Locko caught keeper Michael Mackentegard off guard, and Boreham Wood were on their way towards survival. Luke Garrard's team grew in confidence, and 10 minutes later Luke Howell played a great 1-2 with Harry White before doubling his side's advantage. It really was all Boreham Wood in the first half. And after the break, they made certain of safety. This bullet header from Clovis Camjo left Welling stunned. It was Boreham Wood's 3rd successive victory, their best run of the season, and their 16th clean sheet. As we say goodbye to Welling, it's another year at non-league football's top table for Boreham Wood.
Halifax started this game 1 place above the drop zone, knowing a win would secure their National League status. Anything less would leave them at the mercy of results elsewhere. Chairman David Bosworth described this as Halifax's biggest match since their reformation in 2008, and their start reflected the occasion. Richard Pennyket with the break down the left, Jordan Burrow's shot blocked, and Josh McDonald missing the rebound. Jim Harvey's men had it all to do, having only scored once in their last 5 games. But on the stroke of half-time, their prayers were answered. Scott McManus with a clinical finish from Penniket's pass, and as it stood, Halifax was staying up. In the second half, Halifax weren't content with a 1-goal advantage. Connor Hughes had his shot blocked by keeper Richie Brannigan, who also stopped Burrow's follow-up before Hughes sent it skyward. And then, with 60 minutes gone, the unthinkable happened. Danny Rowe's shot bobbled past keeper Sam Johnson to bring the scores level. The team with the worst defensive record in the league had conceded their 82nd goal of the season. It meant their future was no longer in their own hands. As full-time neared, they fought for a winner. Agonisingly, Kevin Roberts' header bounced off the post, and a last-ditch effort from substitute Danny Hattersley flew over the crossbar. As the full-time whistle blew, Halifax were left waiting for news of their fate.
Guiseley began the day in the bottom 4, knowing that even a win might not be enough to prevent an immediate return to the National League North. All he could do was go for it and hope their rivals slipped up. And they didn't waste any time getting on the scoreboard. 4 minutes in, and Ollie Johnson's chip was too good for visiting keeper Brendan Moore. It was only his 2nd goal of the season and could hardly have been any more important. 6 minutes later and a dream start for Guiseley continued as Will Hatfield was allowed to tap in from some lacklustre defending by Torquay. And with 30 minutes gone, more went to ground and Anthony Dudley rounded in with ease to give the hosts a 3-goal advantage. But the atmosphere was to change after the break. News that Halifax were 1-0 up against Macclesfield subdued the fans. As it stood, a win wasn't good enough for Mark Bower's men, and the Torquay comeback was on after Nathan Blissett managed to pull one back. As for celebrations from the away fans, you could say some went over the top. 7 minutes later, and a deflated Guiseley conceded again. Toby Ajala knocking the ball over the line from a goal-mouth scramble. But Nethermore Park nerves were soothed by news of Macclesfield's equaliser at the Shea. Safety beckoned once again, and a re-energised Guiseley made it 4-2 as Dudley got his brace. Torquay, though, weren't giving up and pushed forward for another goal, which came in the 77th minute. This ferocious half-volley from Sean Harrod beat keeper Stephen Drench to reduce the arrears to 1 goal once again. But after a nerve-jangling day, Guiseley held on for a famous win. And as news filtered through that Halifax had been held to a draw, Guiseley had escaped relegation in the most dramatic fashion. Cue some rather manly prancing.
Yeah, it was a real rollercoaster of a game. We were in complete control at half-time, 3-0 up, and then the other results filtered through, which I think had an effect on the lads and just dampened the spirit, so to speak. And credit to Torquay, they really came out of the second half. There was certainly no end of season feel about their performance, and they give it a really good go. And I feel we got what we've deserved over the season, which is another shot at this league next year.
Everybody's very despondent, obviously. They've been under pressure all the way, if you like, since I've been here, trying to catch up with the teams ahead of us. It was just down to us to get a result. We'll go away and lick our wounds and, hide in a darkened room or whatever for a few days. But we'll come out of that again, and then, nothing better than a trip to Wembley to sort of pick you up again and get a bit of life back into the boys. And if we could go down there and win that, would be a lovely way to finish off the season.
There was nothing riding on this one, but Southport and Kidderminster were kind enough to treat us to a last day 7-goal thriller. And it all started when Southport's Mike Fenix was taken down by keeper Dean Snedker inside the area. Up stepped Louis Almond to beat Snedker from the spot, his first goal in 11 and 12th of the campaign. Relegated Kidderminster were unbeaten in 5 and enjoying their best run of the season, James McQuilkin making it 1-1 with only 9 minutes gone. And they struck again, this time Elton Engwatala sliding in to give the visitors the advantage for the first time. In the second half, a defensive error from Kidderminster's Usmain Farnay allowed Fenix to bag his 5th goal of the season to bring the scores level at 2-2. With Southport failing to man-mark, Tyrone Williams slipped through to restore Kidderminster's lead with 77 minutes gone. And they made it 4 when Evan Garnett beat the offside trap to knock it past keeper Max Crocombe. Jack Ryan ended the scoring for Southport 3 minutes into injury time, but couldn't stop Kidderminster registering their 500th win at this level of non-league football, a figure no other club has reached.
After securing National League safety with a 2-1 win over Grimsby last weekend, Chester were looking to top off their season with a win against Gateshead. No goals in the first 50 minutes of the game, then CJ Hamilton's cross caused problems for defender Ryan Higgins, and Rob Ramshaw made it 1-0 to the visitors. 9 minutes later, John Rooney crossed for Kane Richards to level the scores. Not a bad goal celebration either. Keeper Sam Russell should have done better with this shot from Higgins, his 2nd goal of the season, giving Chester the lead. Our cameraman was enjoying a panoramic view of the Diva Stadium when Ross Hannah popped up to make it 3-1. And Hannah wasn't done there, drilling home his 22nd goal of the season 4 minutes later. He only scored 5 for Grimsby last season. That's some improvement. Gateshead's Danny Johnson completed the scoring 4 minutes from time, but Chester took the points to finish 17th.
Gary Smith was hoping to sign off with a win, having announced that this would be his final game as Aldershot manager. His players got the message and drew first blood when Dan Walker was set free down the right, setting up Charlie Walker to open the scoring with 11 minutes gone. A failed clearance from Reece Brown then allowed Bromley's Ali Husseini to let fly with this half volley. That was his first goal since October. Bromley fell behind again as Dan Walker's cross went into the net off the unfortunate Sean Francis. That was the first time Aldershot had benefited from an own goal since November 2013. Charlie Walker made sure Smith's parting gift was 3 points with Aldershot's third goal after 75 minutes. Aldershot finished 15th, Bromley 1 place higher.
So after 46 games, this is how it finished in the Vanarama National League at the bottom. Confirmation that joining Welling United and Kidderminster Harriers in dropping out of the league, Altrincham and Halifax, despite the fact that they'll be contesting the FA Trophy final in just a few weeks' time. And at the top, our congratulations once again go to worthy title winners Cheltenham Town. And then it finished Forest Green Rovers in second, Braintree in third, Grimsby in fourth, and Dover Athletic in fifth. And Chris Hargreaves, that means that we have got the mouth-watering prospect of 2 part-time teams in the playoffs. Dover against Forest Green on Wednesday. Join us from 6:30. And then on Thursday night, it will be Braintree's trip to Grimsby Town. And it is remarkable that we have 2 part-time teams contesting these playoffs. 2 part-time teams with school teachers in charge. Not that I'm dissing school teachers, obviously.
One of which I've just heard him say to his mate, I'm just going to send a text. I wonder if I can get the time off on Thursday.
The juggling must be
it's incredible. Yeah, and I think that those teams have got the momentum to do 2 different reasons. Grimsby form is not so great at the moment.
And time to deliver.
Yeah. But Forest Green lost the manager. So, in one respect, it's there for them. It's there for the taking. But I still feel that Grimsby, it's their year.
You do?
I do, honestly. I do.
Because Paul Hurst has been so calm throughout this whole season, so calm, with a constant reminder that his team has missed out in the playoffs for the last 3 seasons. Yeah, now it's the business end. That's what I'm alluding to.
Now it's the business end, and you would still fancy your chances against Braintree, albeit we've witnessed them today and they were fantastic, but against on the day a very poor Altrincham side.
Braintree with momentum. Braintree who went up to Grimsby, in the past.
But you've got to fancy yourself as the ex-league club, haven't you? The club with the history, the club that you've got no right to be there, of course you haven't, Clem, but I just feel that they've got to go in there with confidence and grab it this year, seize the opportunity and say, this is our year, we're going up. The mindset is we're going up at Wembley.
Yes, you could be totally wrong though, and we could have 2 part-time teams at Wembley for the promotion final in a couple of weeks.
And if they do, they thoroughly deserve it for the work and effort that they've put in, because that is no mean feat whilst you are part-time. Incredible.
Yeah, there's only one fly in the ointment, obviously.
Yes.
What if the 2 teachers reach the promotion final and then they've got marking to do that particular Sunday? That would be no good, would it?
Well, it will be, because all the students will get top marks.
Well, they probably will. Well, one will be very grumpy and one wouldn't. Enjoyed your company here today. Thanks for joining us. Do hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Vanarama National League on our highlights programme every Sunday evening throughout the course of the season. Stay tuned to BT Sport for full coverage of those playoffs and indeed that double header, the FA Vars and FA Trophy final. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Jacko sponsors the Vanarama National League on BT Sport.